Hey, friend, welcome back to my podcast, Kitchen Wisdom with Arina. Grab your coffee and let's talk about something that every single one of us feels in our soul these days: how to save money on groceries for the family. And trust me, as someone who cooks constantly, tests recipes, films in the kitchen, and raises a hungry athlete who eats like she's training for the Olympics, I feel this topic on a personal level. Groceries add up fast. Like, how is this cart $300 if it's only 3 bags? Fast. So today I'm walking you through what I actually do in real life to stretch our grocery budget without feeling deprived or stressed. No extreme couponing, no living on beans and rice, unless you want to because beans are great. Just simple habits that truly make a difference. Let's dive in. Buy in bulk, my lifesaver strategy. Buying in bulk is hands down one of the biggest money savers for my family. I go through flour, sugar, rice, and oats like water. Between recipe testing, filming cooking videos, and baking for holidays, it disappears fast. So instead of buying tiny bags over and over, I choose the big budget-friendly bags. And here's where my system comes in. Because you know I love a system. I store all my bulk ingredients in 5-gallon food-grade buckets with twist-on lids and rubber gaskets. These buckets are basically the VIP of the pantry world. They keep everything sealed tight, nothing spills, nothing gets stale, and nothing sneaks in looking at you little pantry moths. They're perfect if you have space because, yes, they do take room, and I won't pretend otherwise. I keep most of my big buckets in the basement, but if you have a garage or extra pantry space, those work great too. Honestly, buying in bulk has saved me so much money over the years, and it also means I'm not running to the grocery store every other day. Store everything in ball jars, my pantry aesthetic plus practical win. Let's talk jars, specifically ball glass jars with metal lids. I'm obsessed. I store everything in them: brown sugar, baking soda, chocolate chips, lentils, nuts, popcorn kernels. If it fits, it lives in a jar. Why jars? Because they keep food fresh much longer. They're super easy to clean. You can see what's inside without guessing. They look beautiful, lined up in the pantry. And I use wide-mouth jars because they make scooping flour or sugar way easier. No one needs to fight a narrow jar opening with a measuring cup. I've been using this system for over a decade now, and honestly, it's one of my favorite home organization choices ever. Oh, and labeling. My jars always get labeled with a black Sharpie, either on the lid or the glass. When I want to reuse a jar, it washes right off with a little Windex and a microfiber cloth. For the big 5-gallon buckets, I label them with bright orange painter's tape. Easy to see, easy to rewrite. And here's a fun example of how good this system works. Brown sugar stored in jars or buckets. It stays soft for over a year. Yes, a year. It's magical. Avoid storing food in store bags. Disaster waiting to happen. Let me be honest. Storing dry goods in flimsy store bags or in Ziplocs is a disaster waiting to happen. Bags rip, humidity sneaks in. Your flour smells like last week's onions. We've all been there. And don't even get me started on finding a bag of open rice lying sideways in the pantry. I've lived that life. I've vacuumed that life. Never again. That's why transferring everything to jars or buckets saves money and saves your sanity. And because pouring dry goods can get messy, especially if the bag is heavy, here's my secret weapon. My piping bag funnel trick. You know how some people swear by funnels? Funnels never work for me. Flour goes everywhere. It becomes a snowstorm situation. So instead, I grab a 21-inch piping bag, cut about 1.5 inches off the tip, and boom, instant largemouth funnel. Flexible, wide, and mess-free. I always keep one washed and ready in my kitchen. I hold the piping bag inside the jar, pour the dry goods through it, and not a single grain hits the counter. It's one of those tiny kitchen hacks that feels like winning. Before I head to the store, I always take just 10 to 15 minutes to look around my kitchen and plan a bit. Those few minutes truly save real money. Before grocery shopping, I take 10 to 15 minutes to check what I already have, make a simple list, and plan a few meals around similar ingredients. Not a full weekly meal prep. Honestly, I don't always have the mental energy for that. Just a quick scan to keep me from buying duplicates or letting food expire. And if you're wondering, yes, I use AI for this. Sometimes. It helps me build shopping lists based on what recipes I'm filming that week. But here's another little system that saves me from grocery madness. Our family uses the Reminders app on our iPhones. We have one shared grocery list where everyone can add what they need. In theory, this is great. In reality, sometimes I open it before shopping and see a list that looks like someone is trying to open an ice cream shop. Every flavor imaginable. 0 actual groceries. So now, before I leave the house, I scroll through the list, laugh, clean it up, and make sure it actually reflects what we need, not what someone was craving at 10 p.m. Cook once, use twice. One of the biggest money savers, and honestly one of the easiest habits to build, is cooking something big once and using it in multiple ways throughout the week. I call this my stretch it out method, because one good meal can usually be flipped into 2 or 3 completely different dinners with almost no extra effort. For example, if I roast a whole chicken on Sunday, that's dinner for day 1. Then on day 2, I'll shred some of that leftover chicken and turn it into quesadillas or tacos. And by day 3, whatever's left usually becomes a cozy chicken soup. 1 bird, 3 meals, 0 stress. It works the same way with rice, pasta, beans, honestly anything that cooks in bulk. Just make more than you need, stash the extra in the fridge, and repurpose it into something new the next day. This simple habit saves money, reduces food waste, and makes weekday cooking feel so much easier. Future you will thank past you every single time. Buy seasonal produce. Seasonal fruits and veggies are cheaper, fresher, and taste better. And honestly, this is one of the easiest savings tips out there. In the summer, berries practically jump into your cart, and they taste like sunshine. In the winter, I switch to citrus, squash, and apples, because that's when they're naturally more affordable and flavorful. And yes, I freeze a lot of produce for smoothies, baking, and cooking later. It's my little secret weapon for stretching seasonal bargains. I wash, dry, and freeze berries flat on a sheet pan before bagging them, and those frozen berries make the best smoothies in January. Plus, freezing is perfect for veggies too. Things like chopped peppers, spinach, even herbs in olive oil cubes. It keeps produce from going to waste and saves me money every single month. And since we're talking about stretching your dollar, let me mention farmers markets for a second. They're wonderful for the kysychets experience, the music, the smells, the samples, the whole vibe, but they're not always cheaper than grocery stores. In fact, most of the time they're more expensive. So if you're going for fun, absolutely enjoy it. But if you are strictly looking to save money, stick to seasonal produce at the grocery store where the prices drop naturally. Don't be afraid of store brands. Let me tell you, store brand flour, sugar, salt, pasta, and even cheese. Totally fine. I use store brands for so many things, especially for baking, where consistency matters more than branding. The only things I rarely compromise on, butter and chocolate. My baker friends understand. Keep an eye on sales, but don't let your house become a grocery store. Here's the thing, I am not big on extreme stocking up, because the moment you start buying 10 of everything just in case, your house slowly transforms into a mini grocery store. And we've all lived that experience. Finding a can of beans from 2017 hiding behind the pasta, or realizing you bought flour 3 times because you forgot you already had 2 bags. So instead of stacking mountains of food, I keep it simple. If something we use all the time goes on sale, I grab a few extras, not a whole cart's worth. Just enough to actually use before we forget it exists. This way, my basement stays a normal basement, not aisle 12 of a supermarket. And still, these small, smart stock-ups save me real money every year. Compare price per ounce instead of the sticker. Price. One of the easiest ways to save money without changing anything you eat is to start comparing price per ounce, not the big bold sticker price. Grocery stores love tricking us with sale prices that actually aren't deals at all. I always check that tiny little price per ounce label on the shelf. It's basically the truth teller of the grocery world. Sometimes the bigger container is actually more expensive per ounce, and sometimes the smaller one is the better deal. Once you start checking, you can't unsee it. Cook larger batches and freeze leftovers. Cooking larger batches is one of my favorite tricks because it saves time and money. If I'm already making soup, chili, or a big pasta sauce, I just double it. Half goes on the table, half goes straight into the freezer for a future I don't want to cook today kind of night. This cuts down on waste, reduces takeout cravings, and keeps your freezer stocked with homemade meals. Future you will be so grateful. Swap meat. Heavy meals for plant-based options. Listen, I love a good roast chicken, but meat is expensive, especially now. A couple of nights a week, I switch things up with plant-based meals. Think lentil soup, veggie tacos, pasta with roasted vegetables, bean chili. All delicious, all budget-friendly. And honestly, my family doesn't even notice half the time because the food still tastes great. Avoid pre-cut produce and pre-made meals. I know, they're convenient. I've definitely reached for those pre-cut fruit containers when I'm in a rush, but they cost so much more. Washing and chopping your own fruits and veggies saves a surprising amount of money. And they last longer, too. Same goes for pre-made meals. They're basically convenience disguised as groceries. Don't grocery shop hungry. Okay, real talk. Nothing destroys a grocery budget faster than walking into the store hungry. When I'm hungry, suddenly everything looks amazing. I start tossing random snacks, fancy cheeses, artisan breads, and enough chocolate to survive a zombie apocalypse into my cart. Shopping hungry turns me into a completely different person, someone who forgets she owns a budget. So now I make myself eat something, anything before going. A banana, a yogurt, even just a handful of nuts. It saves me from coming home with $40 worth of snacks I never planned to buy. Don't bring the kids or the husband. And while we're being honest, bringing kids to the grocery store, that's a budget-destroying adventure all on its own. Kids see everything at their eye level. The colorful cereal boxes, the cookies, the gummies shaped like dinosaurs. And suddenly, your cart looks like you're stocking a kindergarten classroom. And husbands, listen, I love mine dearly, But grocery shopping with him is a whole experience. He shops with his heart, not the list. If I say, just grab milk, he returns with milk, 3 yogurts, a new kind of chips he wants to try, and some gadget he found in the seasonal aisle. It's adorable, but not helpful. So here's my strategy. Either I go alone with my peaceful podcasts playing in my ears, or if your partner is the type who actually follows the list, send him alone. Just make sure he's the kind who doesn't get distracted by snacks. All right, now we can wrap things up. Saving money on groceries doesn't have to feel like a full-time job or a math exam you didn't study for. A few smart habits really can make a huge difference. Storing dry goods the right way, buying in bulk when it makes sense, planning just a tiny bit, and keeping your pantry organized enough that you're not accidentally buying flour for the 3rd time this month. I've been using these methods for over a decade, and they've survived everything. New recipe obsessions, filming weeks where my kitchen looks like a cookie factory exploded, growing kids with bottomless appetites, and entire holiday baking marathons where my oven basically files for overtime pay. And as always, all the tools and storage containers I mentioned today will be linked in the description below. If you have your own dry good storage tricks or grocery saving tips, share them. I genuinely love hearing what other families do now. Half of my favorite hacks have come from someone else's brilliant idea. All right, friend, let's go save some money on groceries. And maybe even make the kitchen a happier, calmer place while we're at it. Or at least a place where the brown sugar doesn't turn into a brick. Small wins.